Hello there, I'm Woolly Wormhead and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'd like to talk to you about trapping floats in stranded colourwork. Now, let me just explain what that means. Stranded colourwork is when you are using two or more yarns to create a pattern. It could be geometric, it could be something completely different, but you are using the yarns within one row to create a pattern. And the yarns that are not being worked at any particular time are carried behind the main working yarn. And by carrying them behind, we create floats. Now, when we're carrying the yarns, we actually don't want our floats to be particularly long. Because if they're too long, they can make our tension get really tight, which is something that we want to avoid with this particular technique. And two, they can get caught when they're worn on the inside. If our floats are too long, we want nice short floats like this if we can help it. If our floats are too long, our fingers can get caught in it, buttons, zips, anything can get caught in it. We don't want that. And it can snag our knitting. So there are two ways to catch floats using the two-handed stranded colourwork technique. And I'm going to show you how to do both of those in a sample that I have here ready today. So let's switch to the overhead and have a look at that. Okay, I am now working on another hat from this same collection that is geometric stranded colourwork that doesn't have a name yet, but it might have in the future. Um, this pattern, I am about to work 4 stitches in yarn A, which I am picking on this side here, and that is in the brown. Okay, I'm using the two-handed stranded colourwork technique to do this. Now, when I am working stranded colourwork, I do not like to leave long floats. No more than about 2 or 3 stitches if I can help it. A float of 4 stitches would be too long, for my preference. All right. And because I need to work 4 stitches in the brown here, that means I'm going to need to catch the green. Now, what I would do is I would either catch it behind this stitch or this stitch here. So either one of the, if there was 5, ideally I'd catch it on the one spot in the middle, but there isn't, there's 4. So I'm going to either catch it on that one or that one, whichever is your preference. But I am going to catch it behind because 4 is too many stitches for me to float. So let's pick that first stitch, knit that one. I'm going to knit the next stitch. Ooh. And now to trap this float, I'm going to bring the yarn up, the green yarn that I normally knit English style for the knit stitches. I'm going to wrap it around the needle from behind, bring it down, but I'm not going to pull the stitch through. I'm going to pick the brown again. I'm going to take the green back round so that it sits behind and then pull the brown through. And then the next stitch needs to be knit, and that's my 4 stitches worked. And there you can see it's been caught there between the 2 stitches. Now let me undo that and I'll show you how to do that again. This is the probably more fiddly of the 2 ways of trapping, especially when you're doing this particular two-handed stranded colourwork technique. But if you can master this one, the other one's a piece of cake. And this really isn't difficult, it's just kind of like a bit of an unusual thing to do. So knit 1. I'm going to put the float on here, actually trap it here. So wrap it around the needle, bring it down so it sits just on the stitch there, catch the brown one, take the green back round, pull it through, and then I'm going to knit the other 2 stitches. And there we have our float caught nicely there between the 2 stitches. And that is how you catch the floats when you are carrying the yarn that you would have in your right hand when you're doing the two-handed stranded colourwork technique. All right, so the next one that I'm going to show you is what happens when you need to carry this yarn that you would normally pick when you are working with the right hand yarn that you would normally throw. All right then, so I now need to work 4 stitches in the green across here. And again, 4 stitches is too long for my personal preference to float. I would like to catch it in the middle here. Now, this is a much, much easier method of doing this. So we knit across, we knit again, Now to catch the float, we put a needle in, put it underneath the yarn on this side that we're holding on our left index finger, wrap the green around, pull it through, and knit it off. And there we have our yarn held behind there. So let me undo that and show you how to do that again. Whoop. Okay, so I'm referring to them as brown yarn, green yarn, but this is normally the yarn A that I normally have when I am picking, and yarn B is normally the one that I have in my left hand, my right hand, sorry, for throwing. So we knit 1, 2, ready to catch the float. We insert the needle into our stitch. We put it underneath the yarn that's on our index finger. Wrap the stitch, put it through, and knit it off. And then we knit the next one because we need to knit 4 of those. And there we have it. Our yarn has been floated on the back, and it's going to be lovely, and you're not going to have long floats. And there you go. That's how I catch my floats in two-handed stranded colourwork. There are other ways to do it, but this is the way that I recommend. This is the way that I find easiest, by using the two-handed stranded colourwork technique. So I'm not getting my yarns tangled up. It means that I can manage the floats in different ways without having to twist them. They get caught behind very neatly, and it produces a nice fabric, and the floats are not tight. I keep a nice tension, and it's fantastic. If this has been helpful, please do the subscribe and like, etc. thing, and that'd be very much appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Bye.